Okay, so last week we discussed about the introduction part. So mainly what is management accounting, and then we discussed about some of the basic concepts of management accounting. But still we did not discuss about any advanced management accounting concepts or management accounting practices. So previously I have explained that first lesson it is mainly focusing on strategic management accounting. So first we need to learn about accounting, then management accounting, then we have to combine those two with the strategic aspects and identify what is strategic management accounting. So far we discussed about management accounting, not strategic areas. So today we'll move to the strategies, and then we can combine what is strategic management accounting. Before moving to that, right, okay. She will explain about what we discussed last week. If you have any kind of questions or any concern, you can clarify with her. And you also can ask any question from. Kita balang ni mana tax kita balang. Mana lah tolong ini lah.
You summary of last week, get from last week lecture. First, first we can talk about what is accounting. Accounting is the process of recording, measuring, and communicating financial information so users can make good decisions. And the one is management accounting. Management accounting provides information to managers to help them plan, control, and make business decisions. It focuses on internal use, not for outside reporting. And features of management accounting, not limited by external reporting rules, focuses on future plans and forecasts, help managers make effective and efficient decisions, uses both financial and non-financial data. Let's discuss world views of management accounting. There are three world views in management accounting: technical managerial view. Another one is pragmatic interpretative views and critical socio-economic views. Let's talk IFAC model. IFAC means International Federation of Accountants. The IFAC model shows how management accounting has evolved from simple cost accounting to modern strategic management accounting that supports long-term business strategy. And modern management accounting has managed because of globalization, technology, competition, customer needs, production and marketing. So those are the things we discussed in last week. So I'm going to ask questions from you guys. Isn't it okay? I don't agree with me, okay? That's it. I think this is the easy for you. What is the main purpose of management accounting? Main purpose is taking decisions for internal uses. Second one. Tamar. What is the difference between accounting and management accounting? Name the three work leaves of management accounting. It's easy for you. Only three. Sorry. Himasha. Why has management accounting changed all the time? Thank you. Last question. So you can find out that side. Okay. Hi. Actually, it's easy. That's fine. What does the critical view of management accounting focus on? Sorry? Okay. Chadurya? Management accounting focus on means how management accounting factors affect the external environment. Thank you. So how
Thank you for the recap session. So we'll discuss from that point onwards. So I'm also going to ask some questions if we can. So what are three worldviews of management accounts? Three worldviews of management accounts. What? Critical socio-economic view. Competitive. Pragmatic interpretative view and technical managerial view. So what is technical managerial? Technical and managerial. Management function, yes. Set of calculative practices and managerial functions. Then what is pragmatic interpretative view? Management accounting focuses on what? Management accounting practices, right? So when it comes to management accounting practices, there are three types of researchers are focusing on management accounting practices in three different ways. One of the researchers are focusing on problems and they try to provide solutions for those problems. Second group of researchers, they are focusing on the changing nature of the management accounting practices. And third, they are focusing on what is actually happening in the organization and they try to create a link between the theories and the practice. Then we discuss about the critical socio-economic view. What is that? Management accounting, how it's linked with the external parties like wider socio-economic context. It can be linked with some other subject areas. Right? So that is critical socio-economic view. Then we discuss about management accounting, how management accounting has changed from previous days to now by using one particular model that we call it as IFAC model. What is IFAC? International Federation of Accountants. Right. So according to the IFAC model, there are 4 stages and starting from stage 1 to stage 4, it means stage 1 means the previous stage when management accounting has started. And stage 4 is the current stage. And in future, there can be another stage and there can be another main focus as well. According to the IFAC model, in stage 1, what is the main focus of management accounting? Identify the cost determination and financial control. Then when it comes to stage 2, the main focus has changed to providing what? Information for planning and controlling activities. In stage 3, reduction of wastage of corporate resources, and final stage 4, are creating value for the business, right? Right, so those are the things that we have discussed. And right, so these are the new trends in management accounting. So not only management accounting module, so even each and every module that you are learning, starting from some basic things, and now most of the things has changed because of different reasons. So those reasons we have discussed last week, and these are some of the new trends in management accounting. So first one, sustainability and environment management accounting. So there are more focuses on sustainability aspects and the environmental considerations. It means not only focusing on profit generation or cost reduction. Let's say if there are some activities that they can improve profits, or even if the organizations can reduce the cost. But if it is not sustainable, if it is not good for the environment, now organizations are not doing those activities. So they are focusing on sustainability activity or the environmental friendly activities, and then they are identifying those things as a proper management accounting practices. And the data analytics and artificial intelligence in management accounting, now most of the management accounting practices are automated. Right? So previous days, we do we prepare different reports, we prepare different cost sheets. Now most of the things are automated and using those data analytics and the AI techniques. So there are some activities like robotic process automation, right? Automation processes running management accounting practices good up there. So even Sri Lanka, in our country also, most of the manufacturing related organizations, they are using these, right? Well, factories වලට ඔයගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරනවා නම් නැත්නම් visit කරන්න chance එකක් තියෙනවා නම් බලන්න ගොඩක් management accounting practices වලට now they are using those robotic process automation RPA technologies, right? Then when it comes to budgeting, there's a method called beyond budgeting. So we'll be discussing this later. Not just traditional budgeting practices, there's a technique called the beyond budgeting. So these are some of the new techniques and agile performance measurements. Agile can what? Agility. What is agility? Organization agility. Organization agility means how quickly that organizations can respond to the external environmental changes. So we know that if there is any kind of a change in the external environment, we have to change, right? We have to change it very quickly. Companies change, they are adapting to those new changes in the external environment. If our organizations cannot adapt quickly, that is not an agile response, right? Agility, agile respond කරන්න ඕන එක කොච්චර ඉක්මනට අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්ද, right? So those changes we have to do very quickly, otherwise we won't be able to survive in the industry, right? So then strategic management accounting practices. So these strategic management accounting will be discussing next. So these things, there are no specific definition for strategic management accounting. So I'll discuss later. Right? Okay. So then lean accounting. So this is one manufacturing related practice, right? So the next lesson after this particular presentation slideshow, the next lesson is focusing on modern manufacturing accounting practices. So under that we'll be discussing the lean accounting. So there are practices like those JIT system, lean, then throughput accounting. So likewise, there are different methods. So we'll be discussing those. And digital transformations of costing systems. So it means simply now we are not doing the manual practices. So we do manual practices, but mostly we are converting those into digital technologies, right? So likewise, almost all the new trends in management accounting is related to technological advancements. Right. So because of those technological advancements, we have to change these things, and without changing changing according to the new technological advancements, we won't be able to survive. Right. Okay. So I'll show you one particular video. In that, list down what are the management accounting practices that you have identified. Right. So management accounting practices means it is not just having sometimes some of the practices that we do, there are no specific name for it. So if we take just in time hit, just in time, right? But there are some practices that we do in organizations related to the management accounting there are no specific terms for that. But we do those practices. Let's say for an example, so when supermarkets are there, supermarkets are shopping malls are there. When it comes to those, let's say the washrooms, shopping malls and washrooms, they give a cleaning chart. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ක්ලීන් කරා නම් ආවලි හරි කොහොම හරි පොඩි නෝට් එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ ක්ලීන් කරන එක. So that is also management accounting practice. You know, ඒකට specific නමක් නැහැ, right? So that is also management accounting practice because that particular sheet, end of the day, the manager or the supervisor can take that particular sheet and take decisions. Management accounting reports means not just budgeting or the cost sheets, right? Any kind of information that we can gather, and if we can take some kind of a decision based on some kind of a sheet or any kind of information, that we call it as management accounting practice, right? So likewise in this particular video also, you will be able to identify different management accounting practices. පොතට බලලා list down කරන්න මොනවද ඒකේ තිබ්බ management accounting practices. So this is in management accounting practices done by I think Toyota. So most of the management accounting practices has been developed in countries like Japan, right? They are always focusing on the continuous improvement. And so that is, there's a concept called continuous improvement. What is continuous improvement? What is continuous improvement? Continuous improvement means, assume that we have developed some new technique today. Tomorrow onwards, ලංකාවේ අපෝ ගත කරන ආදර්මයක් කරලා අලුත් දෙයක් ඩෙවලොප් කරගත්තොත් අවුරුදු ගාණක් යනකම් අපි ඒක හොඳයි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එක හොඳයි කියන එක නේද? So that is not the continuous development. So the countries like Japan and these type of methods used, the organizations where these type of methods used, they are focusing on continuous improvement. It means if they develop some kind of a new technique today, tomorrow onwards they are focusing on how we can develop the earliest developed method. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ method එකේ what are the errors that we have, right? කොච්චර හොඳ method එකක් වුණත් ඒකේ මොකද්ද වෙන්න පුළුවන් වැරදි දේ ඒක බලලා how we are going to improve that. So that is what we call it as continuous improvement, and that particular continuous improvement should be there in each and every student as well. Continuous improvement කියන එක නැත්තම් කොහොම හැමදාම intern හරි trainee හරි විදියට continuous improvement කියන එක තියෙන නිසානේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ step by step ඉස්සරහට යන්නේ, right? So that is the continuous improvement. Okay, let's look at this video and list down what are the management accounting practices that you have identified. Right. Now tell me what are the management accounting practices in here? Yes. Okay. So they are using the GPS system to track. Okay, what else? All right. So without waiting for the final inspection, they do all the components separately. They are checking, and they mentioned that they have 900 inspectors in their production floor. It doesn't mean that they have separate inspectors, 900 inspectors. They say that if one person produce some kind of a product, another one who coming to that particular place and check that whether this is in a proper way or not, and they use a marker dots to identify that this particular component is checked and this is pass the quality checks, right? So that is also management accounting practice. What else? Raghunath. All right. So they mentioned that they are using the method called H1K to support to maintain the just-in-time management accounting practice. So just-in-time avashyaka components or the raw materials quickly how to get those things. They are using a separate method called H1K. What else? And they are using the just-in-time as well, right? they are building their the requirement once they get the orders. Order ගන්න මම තමයි produce කරන්න කියලා. තාමනාත් ඉපන්. In production flow, yes. What else? Warranties, how they handle the warranties? There are any kind of a claim, warranty claim, how they get those things? They mentioned that they are using the dealers separately, and rather than directly coming to the main production flow, they can get those things easily through the dealers, and they can do those warranty claims. How not? If they will another video, how they arrange their production flow. There are separate paths they have identified to. Right? So all together, all the practices, they identified it as a Toyota production system, right? By Toyota production system, study කරන්න ගොඩක් universities වලින් students ලා mainly focusing on those supply chain management practices and the management accounting practices. To study those things, most of the students are going to do those different case studies in that particular organization. Most of the methods will just in time ඔක්කොම develop වෙලා තියෙන්නේ ගොඩක් methods develop වෙලා තියෙන්නේ Toyota company එකෙන්, and there are some other companies as well, right? So and you can remember last week also I have explained the management accounting practices are not developed from groups. Standard right? These things should develop from the organizations and then come into the books, right? Then we have another concept of management accounting, that is two different approaches of management accounting: mechanistic approach and post-mechanistic approach, right? The mechanistic approach, this is focusing on the mass production, and we are producing similar products in larger quantities. Mass market product, then we call it as mechanistic approach. So in here, they are using semi-automatic and inflexible production flow and focus on production rather than the customer needs. We cannot making customers consider right? Here we are not focusing on individual customer needs. We identify the customer needs and we produce the same product for each and every customer. Example, if we take here, we have the parent sons. So parent sons cake theorem, right? So they have their designs and the taste according to their ingredients. They have developed different cakes. So the company the same products that they have prepared for mass market, right? So that is the mechanistic approach. It is focused on the production. They are focusing on production, not individual customer needs, right? So that we call it as the mechanistic approach, and it is focusing on the economies of scale. What is economies of scale? Go on. Go on. Subject how they calculate. Economies of scale lecture and here what economies of scale. What is economies of scale? Economies of scale means once we produce more and more products, right, we can have some savings, right? We can make a product take a average cost එක අඩු වෙනවා products වැඩි වෙන්න අපි එක product එකක් හදුවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. If we produce one particular product, there can be wastages that we can't use for any other production. We are producing only one product. If we are producing more and more products, those wastages we can use it for other production as well. මේක පුටුවක් හදනවා නම් මේ පුටුව හදන්න කියපු raw materials වලින් ඒක හැදුවා එච්චර අනිත් ටික අපි අයින් කරනවා. Sometimes අපි මේ products පහක් හයක් හදනවා නම් මේකෙන් ඉතුරු වෙන ඒවා අනිත් එකට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So then the average cost is lesser, right? So in per product average cost is lesser. So that is economies of scale. Since we are producing more and more products here, larger quantities, we can have this economies of scale. Right? So this is mechanistic approach, and later it introduced another approach called post mechanistic approach. Right? So here this is focusing on the customer, right? From product orientation to customer orientation. Earlier we focused on the product orientation, how we can produce this particular product with a lower cost. This is focusing on the customer orientation. It means here we are producing products for the individual customers. That is an example like the parent son's cakes. Cakes so that is mechanistic approach. And while maintaining that mechanistic approach, they are using the post mechanistic approach as well. Birthday cake requirement I want this type of a cake, these ingredients to be included. Right? So if they are producing like that, that we call it as post mechanistic approach. This is for tailor-made production. Right? And this is focusing on the customer needs individually. Individual customer needs are focusing on this. And here we can use a lot of digital technologies and manufacturing flexibility since we are producing one particular product. Right? And here, comparative advantage is achieved by exploring economies of scope as opposed to the economies of scale. Previous method we had economies of scale, but here we can't identify those economies of scale. Production so here we have economies of scope. Economies of scope means we are focusing on one particular product and we can improve the scope of that particular product. So the product quality improve we can do different things. So that we call it as economies of scope. We can develop the scope of that particular production. Right? So those are the two major approaches that we have in management accounting. So these two methods, then mechanistic approach right? So in when we do the businesses, sometimes we have to use the mechanistic approach, sometimes we have to use the post mechanistic as well. Same organizations, they are using both methods as well. According to our organizational requirements, the nature of the organization, we have to identify which approach that we have to use. Right? Right. So far we discussed about the basic concepts of management accounting. Management accounting what are the world views, how management accounting and financial accounting has changed, and from previous days to now how management accounting has developed, what are the management accounting techniques that we have, right? What are the reasons for the changes of management accounting techniques, and what are the new trends in management accounting, and finally we discuss different approaches in management accounting. That management account. Now we can learn about strategy and then we can combine that particular strategy and management accounting, and then we can identify what is strategic management accounting. Right? Okay. Right. So this particular word you might have used from the year 1 semester 1 to year 2 semester 2 වෙනකම්ම use කරලා ඇති. सामान्य organizations වල වැඩ කරද්දී මේවත් use කරනවා strategies කියලා කියනවා. මොකද්ද strategy එක කියන්නේ? strategy කිව්ව ගමන් උදපාරක ඔළුවට එනවා. ඒ ඔළුවට එන ඕන දෙයක් කියන්න. What is strategy? Strategy, okay. System. The system that we follow to achieve one particular goal. How many strategy කිව්ව මොනවද ඔළුවට එන දේවල් කියන්නේ? strategy එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? මේ ලියන එක පේන්නේ නැහැ නේද? Like ultimately, you are there. Right, strategy. Strategy क्या होगा?
Specific goal or long term.
Right, long term goal, achieving a long term goal. What else? Yeah. Okay. Right, what is strategy? That is some solutions. Okay. उत्तर देना right. Right, okay. So all the answers that you have provided is correct, but there are some other specific terms that we have to use here. So plans of actions and achieving a long-term goals, suggesting some solutions, then achieving a long-term goals or objectives and systems that we can follow to achieve a goal, right? So strategy means we are following different things to achieve a common objective. So that we call it as a strategy. But there are some specific terms that we have to define the strategy. Strategy එකක් කියන්නේ මේකයි කියලා කියන්න අපිට වෙනම වචන set එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? So let's move this to meaning of strategy. Strategy word came from the Latin word called strategos. Strategos කියන වචනයෙන් තමයි strategy කියන වචනේ develop වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. And strategos means the grand design as to how to win the war. යුද්ධයක් දිනන්න අපි කොහොමද plan කරන්න කියන එක තමයි strategos කියන එකේ meaning එක. Right? So strategy means simply how we can design using different tactics to achieve something. යුද්ධයකදී තේක කරන්නේ යුද්ධ දිනන්න මොනවද කරන්න කියන එක තමයි මේ strategos කියන වචනේ තේරුම. Right? So strategy consists of the comparative efforts and business approaches that managers employ to delight customers, compete successfully, and finally achieving the objectives. When we are achieving that objectives in the organization, the strategy should be both proactive and reactive, right? මොකද්ද proactive කියන්නේ මොකද්ද reactive? මේ කියන්නේ strategy එකක් නිකම්ම plan එකක් වෙන්න බෑ. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියපු කලින් කියපු answer වල තිබ්බා මේක long term plan එකක් and there are different things that we have to follow to achieve a objectives. So නිකම්ම plan එකක් වෙන්නත් බෑ නිකම් objectives achieve කරන්නත් බෑ. So here it should be proactive and reactive. What is proactive? Reactive කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? හරි මේ විතර. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැන් මම බ්‍රේක් එකක් දුන්නාට පස්සේ පල්ලෙහාට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැරෙනවා අර පැත්තට යනවා ටී එකක් බොන්න කියලා. ඒකට මේනවා ඉස්සරහට එනවා පිස්සු හැදිච්ච මිනිස්සෙක්. කාදකින් ටික මන්නේකුත් අරගෙන පිස්සු හැදිච්ච මිනිස්සෙක් ඉස්සරහට එනවා. මොකද කරන්නේ? කොහොමද කරන්නේ? ඒ මොනස මේ පාරදී මේ පැත්තෙන් මෙහෙම දුවලා යනවා. බෑ මේ පැත්තට යනවා. මගහැරලා යනවා කියන්නේ ඔයා? එයා එන්නේ පැත්තට ආවේ පාර මාරුවල යනවා. right. මොකද කරන්නේ? එයා පැත්තට දාලා යනවා. මොකද කරන්නේ? හැබැයි ඉතින් කඩේ කරනවා. ඒක කඩේ කියලා. ඔය පාස්ටල් යනවා. right. මොකද කරන්නේ? දුවනවා. ඉස්සරහටද පිටිපස්සට දුවනවා. පිටිපස්සට දුවනවා. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියපුවා proactive ද reactive? Proactive. It means what? Before happening something, you have some kind of action, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා මොකක් හරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ මනුස්සයා සමහරවිට මේව කෑ ගහගෙන මන්නයක් සමාවට ඔයගොල්ලෝම පාන්තරේට යන්නත් තිබ්බා. right? නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හතරක් නොවෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් ඒ මනුස්සයා හිතනවා මටත් වැඩි පිස්සෙන් දෙන්න මම යන්න ඕනේ කියලා. So that is the things that you have told. Those are proactive measures, right? Before happening something, if you are having some kind of a plan to avoid some adverse consequences, that we call it as proactive measures, right? So in organizations, strategies should be proactive, right? ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි වෙන්න කලින් මේක වළක්ව ගන්න පුළුවන් විදිය plan එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. That should be included in your organizational strategy. Reactive means that කියපු ඔක්කොම උත්තර දීලා proactive. Reactive කියන්නේ මේ පල්ලෙහාට ගිහිල්ලා මේ පැත්තට යද්දී අර මනුස්සයා ඉස්සරහට එනවා. කවුරු හරි කියනවනම් හරි මම ඉස්සරහට යනවා. ඒ මනුස්සයා ඇවිල්ලා මට ගැහුවොත් මං ගහනවා. right? ගහන්න ආවොත් මම දුවනවා. ඒව තමයි reactive measures, right? It means they are waiting මොකක් හරි අර negative දෙයක් වෙනකම් බලන් ඉන්නවා කියලා නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. In case if we cannot use any proactive measures to avoid some adverse consequences, if something happens, what we are going to next, right? What we are going to do next, that we call it as reactive measures. Sometimes some people are telling that in organizations, we are not considering about reactive measures, we have proactive measures. අපි උනාට පස්සේ දේවල් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය කියනවනේ. අපි ගාව හොඳ plan එකක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි වෙන්න කලින් ඔක්කොම වළක්ව ගන්නවා කියලා කියනවා. But it is not practical. In case if something happens, it's better if we can have proper proactive measures. In case if something happens, something adverse consequences happens, we have to have a separate plan. Plan එකක් තියාගෙන ඉන්න නරක නෑ. right? මේකෙන් කියන්නේ ඔක්කොම මේ වරදිනකම් බලන් ඉන්නවා කියලා නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. We have to have some kind of a reactive measures. So in විදම 2019 වගේ COVID මෙහෙට එද්දී reactive measures තිබ්බ companies තමයි ඉක්මනටම වැඩක් කරා. right? So there were some organizations, let's say education industry, right? If some education industry in some education institutions, if they had a proper plan, if something happens, how we are going to do the lectures using online methods, they could continue their business. Even if physical lectures COVID kale, they cannot adapt, right? So both the proactive measures and reactive measures should be included in strategy, right? Then another major characteristic of the strategy is unique gestures employed by the company to succeed. So all the activities that we do should be unique, right? For an example, just think you are going to sit for the advanced management accounting exam. Right? Exam එකට last වෙනකොට ඔයා කොහොමද last වෙන්නේ? ඔයා වැඩිපුරම කැමති මොන වගේ දේවල් කරලාද exam එකට last වෙන්නේ? ගණන් හදලා practice කරලා තමයි exam එකට යන්නේ. කොහොමද exam එකට ready වෙන්නේ? Pass fail. කොහොමද ready වෙන්නේ exam? Pass fail. Pass fail. So pass fail. How to do it? Study करला pass fail. lecture videos. මම උගන්වනවද නැත්නම් මේ අර ඉන්දියාවේ tutorials කරලා touch එක. කෙනෙක් හරි උනාට මම උගන්වන එක කාගේ. Right. Okay. So there are different practices that you do, but ultimately one common objective you have to pass this particular exam, right? So even though there are few students say they are doing past papers. Past papers කරා කියලා 3-4 දෙනෙක් කිව්වට ඒ හැමෝම past papers කරන්නේ එකම විදියට නෙමෙයි. Right? ඒක වෙනස් විදියට කරන්නේ. So those are the unique practices that you do to achieve one common objective. So in organizations also the same thing. They have to have a unique gestures when they are succeed, then when they are focusing on achieving something, they have to do different unique practices. එකම දේ කරොත් හැමෝම එකම දේ කරන්නේ, then there are no competition, there are no value addition. So therefore the organization has to do different things, right? So all together, if we focus on strategy, it means the strategy means simply focusing on achieving something in organization by having proactive and reactive measures with the unique activities throughout achieving those objectives. So this is, we call it as a strategy. So now we know the strategy and the management accounting. Now we can combine these two and learn about strategic management accounting, right? So strategic turn, this is linked with this particular word. මේ strategos කියනකේ meaning එක යුද්ධයක් දිනන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. අන්න ඒක කොහොමද මේ organizations වලට link කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා මේකදී. Right? So the markets being the terrorists to capture, and the customers being subject to surrender, and the competitors being the enemies to defeat, and the 4Ps being the competitive weapons to use tactically, and strategy being the way in which the business mobilized throughout led and executed. It means simply strategy means how we are using these different activities to achieving the common objective. Right. So now we can learn about strategic management accounting. Strategic management accounting is an emerging field whose boundaries are loose, and as yet there are no unified field of what it is or how it might develop. Strategic management accounting is a specific definition එකක් කොහෙවත් නැහැ. Right? So we can't say that this is the definition of strategic management accounting. There are different ways, but we can explain the strategic management accounting in different ways. So first one, strategic management accounting as a solution to the set of problems associated with the conventional management accounting paradigm. It means currently if you are having some kind of a problems in the management accounting practices that we do, if we can develop some new techniques and solve those problems, those new techniques we can call it as strategic management accounting practice. Right? For an example, just think previously we had traditional costing techniques, right? Traditional costing techniques වල තියෙන සමහර ප්‍රශ්න solve කරගන්න we have developed activity based costing, right? So now we call it as the activity based costing we identified as strategic management accounting practice. මොකද අර තිබ්බ ප්‍රශ්න වලට solution එකක් හොයාගත්ත නිසා. එතකොට ඔය activity based costing වලත් මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. After, let's say, after 10 years later, if we develop some new method to solve the problems of activity-based costing, now what is strategic management accounting practice? The new method that we have developed, not the activity-based costing. Then, the strategic management accounting කියන එකට අපිට specifically definition එකක් දෙන්න බෑ, because different years there can be different new methods developed. එතකොට දැන් අපි strategic management accounting practice කියලා identify කරගන්න දේවල් ටික කාලයක් යද්දී traditional practices විදියට convert වෙලා how අලුත් method එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So the strategic management accounting practices are developing further. There are no any kind of boundaries. Right? මොකක් හරි problem එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒකට solution එකක් හොයාගත්තොත් we are calling it as strategic management accounting practice. Sometimes the solution itself after 10 or 15 years later can be another problem. Then we are introducing something new. Then that new method we call it as a strategic management accounting practice. Right? Okay. So then SMA has a fundamentally different management accounting paradigm from the conventional one. So by just looking at some of the practices, we can easily identify there's a clear gap between the traditional practices and newly developed methods. And SMA has the interface between the management accounting and the organizational functions like corporate strategy, marketing, and operations. So strategic management accounting is not a isolated practice, right? It is linked with different other functions as well, like the organizational strategy, marketing, HR, research and development. මේ හැම එකත් එක්කම link වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපි financial accounting practices ගත්තොත් it is linked but not this much, right? Because in financial accounting what we do, we report what we has done previously. But in here, based on these decisions we are running entire organization, the production, marketing or whatever the activities we do based on the management accounting practices. So the strategic management accounting, it consists of different ideas, but there are no specific one particular view for the strategic management accounting. What is the definition of strategic management accounting? What is the definition of strategic management accounting? What is the definition of strategic management accounting? Definition of strategic management accounting. Definition of strategic management accounting. Huh? Definition එක නෑ. හරි. ඒක තමයි මම අහන්නේ හැම එකකටම උත්තර දෙන්න යන්න එපා. There are no specific definition for strategic management accounting. ඉතින්ලා කිව්වේ ඒක. There are no specific definition for strategic management accounting, but there are different ways that we can explain the strategic management accounting under these categories. Right? Right. So there are no specific definition, and there are the boundaries are loose and it can be developed further. And these are some of the characteristics, right? It generates external market information, and we are mainly focusing on external market information and develop management accounting practice and strategic cost analysis that we do. And it focusing on it releases the management accounting from practice flow and the product costing. Factory ke production එක වෙන විදියයි product එකේ costing කරන විදියයි නෙමෙයි management accounting කියන්නේ. There are much more things that we can do in management accounting. And here we inform top managers about the potential and actual environment and market consequences about these strategic decisions. It means simply in organizations, if we take the higher level, the board of directors, simply they are taking decisions based on the strategic management accounting reports, right? Decisions, all the decisions they are taking based on different information. Those informations basically provided by the management accountants, right? To be a management accountant, management accountant වෙන්න ආසාවක් තියෙනවා නම් ඩබල් එන්ට්‍රි එක විතරක් දැනගෙන ස්ටේට්මන්ට්ස් හදන විදිය විතරක් දැනගෙන මැනේජ්මන්ට් අකවුන්ටන්ට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න බෑ. Right? So because all the decisions, all the information that we do here these things definitely reflected to each and every function of the business. Have a business function again, business again, have a function again, decisions done based on these information. Organization when process how it will be affected to other divisions. Even accounting, management account, right? So that person should have an overall understanding about the business. And it links the performance measurement systems with corporate visions and strategies, and also tries to balance between financial and non-financials. Not like financial accounting, in strategic management accounting, mainly we are focusing on financial and the non-financial factors as well. Even if we are going to evaluate the performance of an individual or the organization, we are focusing on non-financials also, right? So in strategic management accounting, this is one of the major area, the performance measurement systems. In your organization, how they are measuring the performance of yourself? Companies logulange performance ko measure කරන්නේ. මොනවද බලන්නේ? How the performance measure කරන්නේ? KPIs. What are the KPI? KPI. Key performance indicators, right? Key performance indicators means something. How we develop the key performance indicators? So this is also the key performance indicators of yourself. The individual KPIs also deriving from the it's deriving from the budgets of the organization, right? Entirely අපි හදනවානේ budget එකක්. So මේ budget එකේ තියෙන main budget, how we are going to achieve by division wise, the departmental wise, and as a team, as an individual. Like KPIs achieve करना we can achieve the overall organizational objectives for the budgets. So to make a start करने budget, right? So the budget take achieve करना individually, what you have to do, that is your KPI, right? Okay, so මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලන් තියෙන KPIs එකක් දෙයක් කියන්නකෝ. කොහොමද measure කරන්නේ? There are some ratings. Okay. What else? මොනවද තියෙන KPIs? KPIs තියෙනවා කියලා දන්නවද? මොනවද තියෙන KPIs? How many KPIs that you have? All level करवाने KPIs कितने हो? कंपनी की वजह क्यों आता है? KPIs किया Brad, ni අපි તો මේ අවුරුද්දේ achieve කරන්න ඕන කියලා කියනවනේ මොනවද? එහෙම නෑ. එහෙම තියනවා දන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒක ඔයාලට කියනවා. නෑ. KPIs කියද්ද KPI තියනවා කියලා දන්නවා KPIs මොනවද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. So most of the organizations they have KPIs, but mainly they check the KPIs. When it comes to the year end, when they have to provide you the bonuses or the increments, then they are checking the KPIs, but they are not communicating what you need to achieve. Most of the organizations, like the companies, right? The first thing is organizations has to communicate what you need to achieve. Right? So then, if the organization is having a proper performance evaluation system, they can't wait till at the end of the financial year. මාස 6න්වත් අඩුම මාස 6ක් ගියාට පස්සෙවත් check කරලා බලන්න ඕනේ whether the employees are performing well in these activities or not. So they usually බලනවා මෙන්න මේ දේවල් after 6 months they can do a 6 months evaluation. එතකොට තමයි බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් හරි මෙයා යන path එක හරිද නැද්ද. right? ඕගොල්ලන්ට බලන්න පුළුවන් මට මේක achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ අවුරුද්ද අන්තිමට. right? So that is how the KPIs should be. දැන් මටත් KPIs තියෙනවා. නිකන් ඇවිල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගිහිල්ලා කියන්නේ මටත් KPIs තියෙනවා. right? සමහර KPIs I can't individually achieve. right? දැන් හිතන්නකෝ ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ බැච් එකේ දැන් එක්සෑම් ලියලා 170ක් ෆේල් කියලා එක්සෑම් එක aim මේ 170ක් ෆේල්. එතකොට මගේ KPIs achieve වෙන්නේ නැහැ. right? To achieve my KPIs ඕන exam pass වෙන්න. ඒක KPI. pass වෙන්න කියන්නේ මට ළඟම දෙන්න බෑ. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හරියට ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ හරියට ඉගෙන ගන්න නම් මම හරියට උගන්වන්න. So that is how KPI is linked. right? So there are some other KPIs of mine. Magi tawa KPI එකක් තියුවොත් let's say exam results. exam results ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් මාස දෙකක් ඇතුළත exam results හම්බෙනවානේ. වෙන්නේ දැන් නම් හම්බෙන්න තියෙන්නේ හම්බෙන්න. That is one of my KPIs as well. කියන්නේ accounting department එකේ ඉන්න lecturers ලා හැමෝම papers mark කරාට පස්සේ ඒ ටික submit කරන්න ඕන examination department එකට පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනට මොකද මාස දෙකක් ඇතුළත results release කරන්න නම්. එතකොට ඒක අනිත් lecturers ලා කරේ නැත්නම් මගේ GPA එක achieve වෙන්නේ නැහැ. right? department එකේ අනිත් හැම lecturers ලාම ඒක කරන්න ඒකලෝ නව ඒක කරන එක තමයි මගේ GPA. So likewise there are different KPIs. right? Okay. So that is about the performance measurement systems. And here we have another way of identifying the strategic management accounting practice. Right? So strategic management accounting is, I said that earlier, it is not an isolated practice, and we can't develop strategic management accounting without knowing other things as well. Accounting done කෙනෙක්ට විතරක් මේක කරන්න බෑ. right? So there are 3 different strategies in the organization, mainly the corporate strategy, competitive strategy, and the manufacturing strategy. The corporate strategy means the corporate strategy. This is the top level strategy of the organization. It is focusing on overall organizational objectives. අපි මොකද්ද මේ organization එකේ කරන්නේ? Right? So this is defining the future of the organization, and by knowing these, the corporate strategy of the organization, the future of the organization, and how we can facilitate those, then we can develop strategic management accounting. Again, correct back. අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ corporate strategy එක කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ, how we are going to use those things. Right? By knowing that, we can get some inputs to develop the strategic management accounting practice. And if we focus on the comparative strategy, this is how we are going to market ourselves in the industry. So to do that also, we have to know about the corporate strategy, and by developing that, then we can develop strategic management accounting practices. So අපි දන්නවා overall organization එකේ මේක තමයි වෙන්නේ, and this is how we have to compete in the market. And to do that, within the organization we have to have a proper manufacturing strategy. Means internally what kind of practices that we do, right? By knowing those 3 things, only we can develop the strategic management accounting practices. Here අපි දැනගන්න ඕන company එක කොහෙටද යන්නේ, ඇතුලේ අපේ මොනවද practices, how we are going to compete in the industry. With knowing those 3 things together, we can develop strategic management accounting practices. මේ එකක් හරි දන්නේ නැත්නම් හරියට we can't develop proper strategic management accounting practice. Right? Then what is the definition of strategic management accounting? What is the definition? Huh? There is no definition. Huh? So, if the exam paper explain strategic management accounting, define explain strategic management accounting, there are no definitions here. Definition the explanation. So you can say that there are no specific definition for strategic management accounting, but you can explain how the strategic management accounting in practicing. So for that you can use this one. For the previously there are different characteristics, you can use those things, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, okay. So, now we can start the cost management in non-manufacturing environment. So this one, again, both calculations both back. What they have in our case. These are so this is related to the management accounting, manufacturing related management accounting practices, the new methods that we have. Here, so you can see there are 10 topics. This slide showing you one side is slides 0, panas gana hari, kata gana sari. Jadi kawan, kerung kan ni yo, so kawan kan ini ada, ini ada. Bisa orang boleh tahu ke dia yang miro. Okay, kawan kan ask me straight. So now, I'm going to divide divide the class into 10 groups, right? What you have to do is I will allocate one by one topics. The topics that you allocated, you can search about anything related to that particular topic. Gurante idana main topic ki මේ class එකේ අනිත් කට්ටිය මේ දේවල් දැනගන්න ඕන කියලා හිතනවාට ඒ ඕන දෙයක් හොයාගන්න. You can use any AI, ChatGPT හරි ඕන එකක් use කරන්න. පොත් තෝරනම් පොත් හරි use කරන්න, online හරි offline හරි මට කවන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොන source එකක් use කරා කොහොම හරි assume that you have allocated the topic of just in time. Mainly these things should be included. If the topic is just in time, what is just in time? Then those advantages and the disadvantages. And practical aspect. It means if we take the Sri Lankan context, is there any practical examples that organizations are using these methods? Or even the international also fine, right? And your recommendations or your idea about that particular method. May method they go right and make a meter idea. So those things I need from you. So other next week you are the one who going to explain these topics to your class, right? You can use whatever the method. You can tell the hardware ugannan unnan ehema karana. නැත්තම් මෙතන සින්දුවක් කියලා මේක කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒත් කමන්නේ, right? If you feel that if you are going to do a role play and explain about this particular method, that is also fine. Whatever the thing which is suitable for this particular place, that right there. ගැලපෙන ඕන දෙයක් කරලා අනිත් කට්ටියට තේරුම් කරවන්න මේකේ තියෙන වැදගත්කම මම කියපු topics වල importance එක. That's enough. Right? Okay, there are 10 topics. So I'll keep this topic for the students who are joining online. So you can explain, you can discuss with others who are in online platform again ඔක්කොමල්ලා evolution of ERP කියන topic එක ගැන හොයන්න. මම මෙතනින් sound එක අයින් කරන්න. ඒකවල ඔයගොල්ලන්ට discuss කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය ඉන්න platform එකේම discuss කරන්න no issues. ඒක දැන් ආයි. YouTube එකේ දාගන්නේ. ඒ නිසා පොඩ්ඩක් video වලට මේ discuss කරන්න online විදිහට. So others mobile group that හැමදාම එකට ඉන්න කට්ටිය මොන්නේ නැහැ. තමයි කරන්නේ 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 6 7 8 1 1 2 3 4 online එක ඔක්කොමල්ලා 10 right okay දැන් numbers විදිහට පොඩ්ඩක් එහෙට මෙහෙට එන්න for the assignments there are group assignment and individual assignment. Sorry. Group assignments, report presentation. So you have to develop a report that is there. Presentation, then we can discuss presentation that we'll discuss later. Out of 40, 30 marks will be allocated to that. Right? Then there will be a 10 marks that we need to do an individual assignment here. But I am not going to do that particular individual assignment. So, right? We can remove the individual assignment. I know that you have other assignments in other subjects also. Therefore, I can remove the individual assignment. Individual assignment the activities that we do in the class. I will allocate marks for those activities and right? Individual assignment la doing volunteer karana avashyam nahi. Khamti nang individual assignment ek karna hai so aap ek karana nang kirana bande. So there will be different activities. Homework name individual assignment kara सब activities का देना. Activities का एक number को allocate करके right, okay. Like groups के वजह मन ज्ञान topics के वजह number one group पे हो रहा है 3 4 5 Like group number one. Hotel manufacturing environment company. Just keep that. Group number 3. Total quality management. Group number 4. Life and costing. 5. Business process engineering. 6. Six Sigma. 7. Lean manufacturing. 8. Throughput costing. 9. Group number 9. Backlash costing and group number 10. Evolution of PR. Ogolo other present current note there. You can collect all the information related to this particular topic, and you can decide how you are going to explain to others. That will be doing next week. Right? Presentation that you can decide in different ways. Not just the PowerPoint presentation or Only three. Hatta kene kursi na.
Change plan पूरा change plan पूरा ये मेरी खबर है
तो लाइक है ग्रुप नाम भाई बोला थोड़ा ग्रुप नंबर 8 से के बाहर निकला ग्रुप नंबर 9 लेके तुला के ले जाए वह तुला नहीं बोला टॉपिक क्या होगा अरे बैकलैश कोस्टिंग आएंगे करानी तो तुम तुंदरा नहीं वो तुंदरा नहीं तुंदरा तेरे को दिखा तीन बार कच्चे dan मेरे ini benar nih yang indah
So I see a
Sir.
Now, like, vision of very light. The one is yes, I am How you want to Can get each information like that for all the information plus all memories. Case no yeah. But face that is driving. As soon as information within 1 day,
Right, okay. So, do this activity, so we'll do the presentation from next week. And we'll discuss about the assignment. So, assignment that's and we'll discuss next week. Complete this, so like then, that we the party the group right, okay. So it's stop from here.